Coming in
That's
14
all.
minutes.
It's
14
coming.
minutes.
You got
14 minutes. You got 14 minutes before I start praying.
I might need to do it with you too.
Let's do it then. That'd be great. We can have a revival here. This is great, man. Go Jesus.
Hubert, I want to ask you about the Duke's positional size. I think like Ken Palm has in the top team in the country, their rotation is, everybody in their rotation is 6'5" or taller. You've gone up against bigger teams before.
Yeah, we have.
But how challenging is that when you're playing a group that is sort of tall across the board? It isn't just like two guys up front.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. They have tremendous length at every size, and so I think that's a huge determining factor of why they've been so good defensively, because of their length. They're athletic, they're long, they can cover a lot of space, and so to be able to punch gaps, get to the rim, get two on the ball, create open shots from the perimeter. You have to have tremendous spacing. You have to have ball movement. You have to run your offense with pace. You've got to take care of the basketball in order to get consistent good shots. And they also have the ability to switch everything, 1 through 5. And so when teams do that, just like Pitt did us in the second half, you've got to your spacing, your ball and player movement has to be on point. You have to find advantages and be able to take advantage of those mismatches, and those are things from an offensive standpoint that we're going to have to do on Saturday night. Got to play with tremendous pace. One of the things that has been consistent with us has been our pace, and so when we do get a rebound and are transitioning from defense to offense, it's been at a high level, and it's going to have to be on a high level consistently on Saturday night.
Hubert, with so many playmakers on the floor and obviously guys who want to make game-changing plays, how much have you had to emphasize making the easy play, making those routine plays routinely, like you said?
Yeah, yesterday, we've had, I can't remember, it's 78, 79 practices, and I told them this yesterday, 72% of the practices, the offensive emphasis has make the easy play. I've said everything. Make the easy play, simple works, make routine plays routinely. We don't need home runs. We just need singles. And, that's what's going to have to happen this Saturday. In our last game, we had 14 turnovers, and it resulted in 22 points. And just very difficult to come on the successful side when not only you're turning the basketball over, but the opposing team is converting at such a high percentage.
Can you beat Duke with singles, or do you need a few home runs in there, given how good they are playing at home?
I focus on us, and we'll be ready to go on Saturday.
Hubert, I know we've been over what went wrong at Pitt in detail, but I was wondering if the fight that you all showed on the boards, I mean, you out-rebounded by 10 the other night up there.
Yeah.
Like, can you take that and sort of make that how you have to play? I know the roster is what the roster is. But is that the sort of fight that you just sort of, this group is going to have for the rest of the season?
Well, I think there's two competitions or battles that we have to win in regardless of whomever we play. One is a rebounding battle, and I really think, the free throw battle as well.
Yeah.
That's just huge for us. When we have the ability to get to the basket and draw fouls and get to the free throw line, that's a game changer for us. So I would say rebounding and being able to dominate points in the paint through post and penetration, and what that allows us to do is be able to get to the free throw line.
And the free throws, I guess, have been sort of an indicator too in some of the losses.
It has. Yeah. It really has. We lost the free throw battle against Pittsburgh, and there's a number of factors, but I mean, you talk about the turnovers and their ability to get to the free throw line compared to us. That was a game changer.
Sticking on the rebounding, Seth has had 12 each of the last two games. What has
He's
been
our
the
leading
difference?
rebounder.
Yeah, what's been the difference for him?
I don't know if it's a difference. He's always been a really good rebounding guard. You know, he's just, because of his athletic ability, he does a great job of boxing out. And so, you know, for this team, you know, everybody has to box out. Everybody has to rebound. It's a UNC rebounding game. It's not a Harrison Armando rebounding game. Everybody has to get involved. And Seth has done a great job of helping us limit teams to one shot every possession, and we'll need him to do that for the remainder of the season.
Well, piggybacking on what Adam asked about the fight that you need on the boards, do you use Seth as an example of the guys? And 6'3", he's had 12 in the last 2 games. That's what we need nonstop from you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell the guys that, you know, you talk about the size. Yes, size is a factor, but it's not the deciding factor to me, especially in regards to rebounding. Rebounding, whether it's defense or offense, has everything to do about the size of your heart, your will, and your want to. And so, from an offensive standpoint, if you go to the offensive glass, you give yourself a chance to be able to get second chance opportunities, and if you box out and rebound, I don't care if you're 1'1" or 7'1", you're going to get a chance to put yourself in a position to get that defensive rebound.
Do you have an update on Jay Wash at all?
I don't. I don't right now. You know, yesterday we had off. Today we practice at 3:30. He's planning to practice. How much he's going to practice, I do not know, but that is the plan for today.
As you look back to 2022 and how you guys kind of clicked at the end and caught fire, do you see any similarities in where you're at now and this team's potential? And could a game at Cameron against Duke, you know, could that be a springboard to kind of get that going?
Yeah, I don't really draw back to any other year or specifically 2022. I think the most important thing is to focus on what is in front of you, and what is in front of us is just our improvement. I think just the number one thing for us is just the consistency to be able to stay at a high level on both ends of the floor, and that's what I'm looking for. I want each guy on our team and our team collectively just to reach its full potential and just try to become the best basketball team that we can become, and at the end of the day, live with the results. But you know, the way that we are preparing, the way that we're practicing for the game on Saturday is no different than our preparation for our game on Tuesday.
How can you be confident in close games, talking about the players, when they haven't come through in a lot of close games, especially lately? How do you kind of find that confidence for them or instill that in them?
Well, we are 5-4 in one possession games.
Well,
I just throwing that out. Go
yeah,
ahead.
that's fair. I guess just generally speaking, this season it keeps coming out, the close games that keep coming down to that. How do you find confidence there?
Yeah, well, I would disagree from the standpoint of it always comes down to that. I think I've talked to some of you before that I look at the entire game, the full body of work. You know, you can very easily look at, just for example, on Tuesday night and say, let's look at how we finished the game on Tuesday, but I look at how we finished the first half. We had a 10-point lead, and within a minute, we go into the halftime only up by 2. So I just, and that goes back to the consistency of, and I've said this to the guys, you know, obviously we have shown that on both ends of the floor we can play at a high and elite level, but, you know, can we do that? Can we stay there? Can we have that consistency, you know, in terms of, man, we're really good defensively, and then in the second half, a team shoots 51% against us. Man, we're really sharing the ball, we're efficient on the offensive end, and then in the second half, we only scored 21 points in the second half, and we're turning the ball over. I think the overall consistency is the thing that I've focused on in the communication that I've had with the team.
RJ, the last 3 games, he's been, you know, much more, I guess, efficient when it comes to the shot. He said that he initially this year maybe put a lot of pressure on himself. He's had conversations with you about it. Just, I guess, for a player like him, when he does get in those, you know, modes, how do you kind of help him, I guess, alleviate some of the pressure that he places on himself?
Well, it's hard to alleviate pressure that someone puts on themselves. I don't know how to do that, but I mean, RJ and I have known each other for 7 years. I mean, I was the lead recruiter on him in high school, so we've known each other a long time, and so we have a great relationship, and we talk all the time. I know that, and he knows, and everyone knows, this is his last year, and he wants to end his career not just individually on a good note, but also team-wise, and that's the most important thing to him. And sometimes you do put a little bit too much pressure on yourself. I think one of the things that has added a little bit more burden to him that I feel like has been lifted is him feeling that he has to play so many roles, in terms of like leadership. And I always tell guys, everyone should be a leader, but within their own personality. And so just encouraging RJ to lead with his personality, not anybody else's. And not only is that good enough, it's absolutely what this team needs.
It seemed like the last few games he's played like more free. Like, would that be like, I guess you watching it, does he seem like he's playing with more freedom?
Yeah, I mean, RJ is RJ. Every time he shoots, I think it's going in. Every time he passes, I think it's go to a teammate. Every time he's out there, defensively, he's going to be in the right spots. And obviously, it's shown that I have tremendous confidence in him because I rarely take him out.
Hubert, for you now being in year 4, John Shire in year 3, has your relationship changed at all since you guys are a little more entrenched in this now than maybe you were a few years ago? If it has changed, how?
Yeah, I don't know if it's changed. You don't really get a chance. You say relationship. In relationship, you got to spend time together, and it's really hard to do that with other head coaches because there's a lot on the plate. But I have tremendous respect for John, and I think he's done a terrific job in the 3 years that he's been there, and the time that we do spend together. I really enjoy spending time with him.
Hubert, what have you seen from this Duke team this year when you watch the film and prepare for them?
Yeah, I mean, just complete on both ends of the floor. Obviously, defensively, just their ability because of their length and athleticism to protect the paint, to contest threes, make it hard to create gaps, get offense. I think they're fueled and tied to their defense, and that's the thing that allows them to be successful on the offensive end. Obviously, they've got Cooper, who from an offensive standpoint can do a number of things. There's not many people, especially in college, with his size that can not only create for himself but so easily create for his teammates. And they just have a lot of moving parts on the offensive end that can hurt you, whether it's around the basket with lobs and post-ups or being able to shoot the ball from 3. And so obviously they're playing extremely well with tremendous confidence, but we're really excited about going over there and excited about the challenge of playing them on Saturday.
Hubert, RJ was in earlier and I asked him, since he played over there several times now, won over there at Duke, if he had to list off what some of the more important items are for a team to have going in there, the first thing he said was the mental makeup. As often as you've played over there, coached over there, would you agree with that the mentality has to be there from the start in terms of just going into that place?
Yeah, but I also think for us, we've played so many games on the road. I mean, we've been at Kansas, at Memphis, at Hawaii. That's just non-conference, and so we've been in spirited environments before.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I think that really helps us, in being able to compete on Saturday. But the same type of consistency in terms of the discipline and details, the poise. saying that you needed on this past Tuesday in regards to, on Saturday as well.
Time for a couple more?
You mentioned being focused on what's directly ahead of you, but do you at all think about the NCAA tournament, your positioning, regarding that tournament, or your positioning on the bubble, or anything like that, or, we need to win a couple of these quad one games, or anything like that?
Yeah, I just don't really think about that, and the reason I don't is, Coach Smith always, he never, when I played for him here, he never talked about stats, and he never talked about winning. He always preached preparation and practice and play, and he just felt like if you focused on what you had control over, and that's how you prepared, how you practiced, and how you played, at the end of the day, you'll be happy with the results. I mean, we never even had scouting reports when I was here at Carolina. He just said, if you just do what I've told you and taught you in practice, whatever they do, you should be in the right position. And so I think the most important thing for us is to become the best team that we can possibly become. And at the end of the day, not only live, but be happy with the results. I think you should focus on what you have control over, what is real. And what is real is we play on Saturday, and what we have control over is how good we can become as a team.
Did you try recruiting Cooper at all, like even way early, like years ago, or was it just clear that he was going to end up where he ended up?
That's a question that you would have to ask, Cooper, or one of the things I try to stay away from is making comments on another player that's playing
I
for.
was asking, did you try to recruit him like early on before? Like, did you have a level of interest, or
That would be a question that you would have to ask him.
Coach Davis.
Okay.
Sorry. This team is obviously no stranger to adversity.
But he's really good.
Tweet it.
This team is no stranger to adversity, and considering how the last 4 games of events have been difficult for sure. How do you, adjust your message or emphasize certain points these next couple of days for heading into Saturday?
I don't adjust the message at all. I've been straightforward and direct that, for us to be the best that we can be, we've got to defend, rebound, take care of the basketball. I've talked about the importance of discipline and details and the consistency of doing the little things that make big things happen, like box outs, don't turn the ball over, shot selection, boxing out, getting to the free throw line, making our free throws. Those are things that I've consistently communicated to them throughout the entire season. I told you the percentage of offensive emphasis that I said taking care of the basketball. It was even a higher percentage on everyone box out and rebound, and it's even a higher percentage of giving them discipline and details. The little things make big things happen, just all different types of stuff. And with this team and with this group, I think the consistency of the same message is a thing that will help us be the best that we can be.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate everybody.